Hey traders, Parker here with another indicator. Today I've been introduced you to the price average and volume average trend indicator. I put ATR in here as well, but let's get into it. Let's look at Friday's price action. Let's look at the indicator actually. So this dark blue is showing you that price on average is increasing, but volume is not increasing. Excuse me. The cyan color that you see in here, let's zoom in. You can see the price and volume average is increasing. So let me make those a little bigger so we're not trying to squint. That should be fine. So you can see a little bit better now. So with the indicator, you can see right here, as I said earlier, price and volume is increasing together here. Price is increasing. Price average is increasing here, but volume average is decreasing. You can see right there. So that shows a divergence. Same situation here. You can see the price is decreasing and volume is increasing. Even though that's a divergence, but it's also an indication of a strong downtrend, downward period. So the let me find a little dark purple. So the dark purple is showing the price average is decreasing and volume is decreasing as well. So just showing you the low volume area or low volume. So this indicator which actually change the color of the bars as well. These yellow dots in here are where ATR is increasing. So ATR is increasing, it means the volatility is increasing. And that's what you're getting right here with these yellow dots that are in this indicator. This indicator is going to be free, so just look in the link in the description. And that's where you'll find it. But for the most part, that's the indicator, and this is how it will be used. For the most part, you're looking for volatility around the actual move average, because as I say, price likes to return to its mean, and the mean or the average is what they're referring to. And this is a great indication right here of how this indicator will help you out. And if you're a momentum trader, you want to see if price and volume is increasing to give you an indication of a breakout or possible move, next move in the stock. And the actual colors of the bars will change in correlation with the indicator. So if price and volume are increasing, then price and volume average is increasing, then you get these bright green bars. If price is increasing but volume is not increasing on average, you get the dark green. And the same situation here, if price is decreasing and price average is decreasing but volume average is decreasing as well, you get the dark red, and the vice versa with the bright red. If volume is increasing and price average is decreasing, you'll get bright red. But you can see along this entire thing right here, you see these yellow dots. They're showing you the ATR is increased, so it's showing you the volatility is increasing in this area. And to be a volatility trader, that's one that you want to look for without having to look down here and look for ATR. Look for a volume average. Look for the volume average. If volume average is increasing. And obviously, if price is above the price move average, then that's a great indication of momentum as well. You see how price returned back here. Here's your volatility. Price stayed above that, and price broke out and volume increased. So they're just showing you that the move is volume based versus it's just being low volume. And you can see right here, even though this is let me zoom in. Price broke above and retested a move average right here. You can see where the volatility come in, and you can look at this as a doji candle right here. But you can see how volume average, not volume average, but volume average is down, but price average is increasing. And you can see the prices moved above it. And then you got here where it shows volume was pushing into its volume average is increasing as well. And you always want to look at volume as an indication of interest. So if people are interested, then volume will come in because your buyers coming in. Or if they're not interested, or if they're trying to sell it off or short the stock, volume will come in as well to decrease to send the stock cascading down, just like you see right here. But you can see right here with all these low wicks, buyers were trying to hold this up. in this area, but they weren't able to sustain it. And eventually the stock gave away. Here's a hammer candle if you want to look at it as in a downtrend, but it wasn't able to do anything. But all this low volume into the move down, and then you get this great move down here. And this 100 is based off of the Fibonacci on a daily. And so there are some drawbacks to this indicator. This indicator, because it's based on average, is going to be delayed. So let's look at one of the points where this did not work out. So you can see right here, this indicator really didn't work out right here because price was moving down, but the price average and the volume average hadn't caught up to what the actual price was doing until later on. So this would where one of the drawbacks of using an indicator would be, but you don't have to color the bars. Whatever you want to color, or whatever you want to use for your indication of volume. So I can cut that off, and you can see right there, the bars are no longer colored, and you can actually see where the price broke through the volume. One of the ones that I would have used instead is my relative volume indicator. This pops out. Yeah, this is it. And I would normally use this on 12. It's on 12, so that's that. And I would use it close to close to look at the trend. And I usually have this cut off, but this volume is, I'm not going to go on. But you can see right here, volume is above 2 deviations, and then you can start seeing volume start pushing down. I mean, price start pushing down as well after this big move right here. So volume above 2 deviations could signal you need to get out of the stock. And it's not always, but if volume is above 2 deviations, it can signal a blow off candle. But this huge bar up was significant, will show you that buyers are very interested. You don't have a lower wick, so there's really almost no selling on this stock, especially when you look right here. But when you got up here, price couldn't do anything. It couldn't move up higher. So, and then you got this sell-off, or you could look at it like sell-off. But for the most part, this is 1 deviation above volume. This is below 1 deviation selling volume. Same situation here. That's what these light colors showing you. But then you got this move up, and then you had this big wick right here to sell off into it. But it's still based off of low volume right here, relative low volume right here. But for the most part, it's very volatile. You can see all those yellow dots right there showing the ATR is increasing. But it started decreasing, so you got the little quiet period. Then you have an ATR dot right here, or volatility dot right here, and price is trying to break above, and it finally broke above. Even though the volume is, let's see, let me just get rid of this volume right there, so we can see, and we'll push this up. So volume moved above average, but it's still below 1 deviation. But it's still showing you the buyers are coming in. But you can see all these wicks, so these upper wicks right here, the selling pressure is still in this area. And you can see right here, return back to the mean or back to the average. It couldn't necessarily break all the way, even though close broke below average, but you can see all these candles are still touching the average. And then you can see right here where volume, price average and volume average were increasing. And you can say this move right here is substantiated by volume, or this upward move is substantiated by volume. And then you come up here, you got another candle with volume above 2 deviations. You had one right here, but you saw the continual move up. And then this move down was on low volume. Excuse me, on low volume, but it was still able to bring the stock down. So that's how, in one sense, you would read this. I may not have gotten out of the stock because this lower wick right here would have gave me an indication that buyers are still in the area. But price still was able to push down. So if we were to add VWAP to this, it'll give us another indication of what's going on as well. So giving that a second. So we can see where VWAP, this light color line right here, And you can see right here what actually happened was the stock tried to get back above VWAP and it wasn't able to initially, but then it broke out, and you can see right here this breakout above VWAP was substantiated by volume. It's showing you in this indicator and down here as well in the colors of the bars. So the other thing we can look at is this as well. So now we have our previous day high, low, close, and our current open as well. Another indication of what's going on within this stock. And we have my time reminders as well. So we can look right here again, and what's right here, your previous day close. This purple line right here is your previous day close. And this is just dissecting what's going on in the stock. And this gray line right here is your day high. And your day low is probably right here with the open. But this white line just represents the open. But this is just in different indications of what's going on with stock, or dissecting what's going on within the stock. And we'll go back to the actual day. And you have your after hours. Let's not go into all that. But for the most part, this is Apple's Friday. And you can see right here, this is your pre-market high. This is the mid for the pre-market range, which is your pre-market low, pre-market high, and your midpoint for that for that range right there. So you can look right here. You have volume as soon as it's out of the gate, volume above 2 deviations. And for me, I look for a possibility of getting out of the stock, especially when this happens. But for the most part, you can look right here where you had this sell-off, and this is above average volume. So if I pull it back, you can actually see the volume. So this is a above average volume, above 1 deviation. That's why it's red and not yellow. So it's above 1 deviation, but you can see all these lower wicks in this area as well, especially here. Even though you have this solid bar right here, it's above average volume, but volume is not above 2 deviations. Excuse me. But for the most part, you have your pre-market low right here as well. So you could have looked at it like this. It could be a possible bounce right here and played it off the pre-market low, at least to VWAP, and a possible move above VWAP and above the mid of the pre-market, mid pre-market range right here. And then from there, you seeing the indicator right here showing you that, hey, it's a volatile area right here. Yes, price and volume average was moving up, but you got this downtrend. I mean, you got the move down below VWAP and the price average. And then from here, you use the indicator right here to indicate, hey, this is a nice area to get into or get into right here. A possibility, because price average and volume average is moving up, and volatility is still high volatility in this area. So you can see where the volatility actually decreased or went away. The ATR stopped increasing and volatility stopped increasing. So you can look at this as a quiet period, and with all these low wicks on these candles showing you that buying is going on here, buying pressure is here. And then you got this push up. Even though it's low volume, it's increasing volume as well, because this volume right here is greater than this one right here before. And you can see where this volume is starting to increase. Even though volume average is still decreasing, because it's based off these past 12 bars right here, because I have it going off of 12. So another indicator that I like to use is the signals indicator. Signals indicator, I have it based on close. Okay, so it gives you a better indication of what's going on within the candles and with price and volume as well. So with the signals indicator, I can leave everything on there because I've already dissected a lot of it. But for the most part, when you get the signals indicator, it's based off of, well, you're getting a lot of signals in here. So you can see these squares right here and showing you that this candle is an inside candle right here, this red candle. And that's where you're getting your squares right here are. And then from there, you can see right here you got your down arrow right here, and that's expressing that VSA. So the VSA is above one deviation. So for my VSA stands for volume spread analysis, but it's the volume spread between previous close and the current close. And that's why you have this red arrow right here. It's above one deviation. So, and you got to move down, and then you got this little wedge right here. So the wedge represents a close moving below the low on greater volume. So you can see right here. So we move down. This volume is 933,279, and the one before is 93. I was not really making a difference. Only 3. It's not a great difference, but it's still greater volume, and the close is moved below the low on greater volume. And that's why you got this wedge right here. But you see it has a green silhouette or a green cloak. So if the close of the candle is greater than half of the candle between the high and low, then you will get a green silhouette showing you that buying pressure is on that candle, or there's a buying imbalance on this candle. And that's how I look at it, as a buying imbalance. So that's where you get the green cloak that's around this candle right here. And then you got another push down below, but you can see it's on decreasing volume. So you have a VSA in accordance with VSA. So you have the VSA above one deviation. And you got this push down, but look what happened right here. You got this tweezer bottom. So this green line right here showing these lows are equal. So if you look up here, you'll see these two lows are equal. So 185.01, 185.01, and then you got this move above. So you have your these blue dots right here. I forgot to say this is the inside bar as well. So here's your inside bar. Here's your you can call them their anomalies, and Cooler call them anomalies. This is where there's low movement. The close minus close average is below average, while volume is above average. And it's showing you that even though there's high volume on these candles right here, or above average volume on these candles, there's not a lot of movement between the closing prices. And it just shows you there's churn, or there's a fight going on right here, and they tried to push it down, but it was able to find support here with the pre-market low. Same situation here, and you got a engulfing candle. So this high and this low engulfed the previous candle, and it's bullish. It's a bullish engulfing candle. And you got this blue dot right here. This blue or the cyan dot right here represents a lower low and a higher close. So I got a lower low and a higher close right here, and it's showing you that there's a divergence. So you got a lower low and a higher close. So if you know anything about divergences, it's basically looking for you have the RSI divergence. So a price made a price or close made a higher high, while the divergence made a lower, while the RSI made a lower low. You will let me take that back. So if RSI made a higher high while price made a lower low, that would be a bullish divergence. And also if RSI made a lower low over a certain amount of bars and price made a higher high, that would be a bearish divergence. So it's the same situation here with this price divergence. So price made a lower low, but the close made a higher close. And that's what in volume and greater volume as well. Even though these look the same, so you got 649. Well, I'm looking right here on the volume, and then you cross back up to 646. So it's negligible, but for the most part, it's greater volume. And you have a green wedge right here. So this, you remember what I told you about the red wedge right here? This is the exact opposite. So I have a higher close above the high of the previous candle and on increase in volume. So that's a greater indication of the possibility of the stock moving up. And you have all these lower wicks. These lower wicks down here showing you the buying pressures in this area. And you got to push up. Even though you had low volume right here, you had high volume on the next candle, and you also had a wedge right here. You can barely see it because the average right here. But price and volume average are increasing. But you have a red silhouette or a red cloak on this candle because the close is below half of the candle, half of the high and low. So it's below the midpoint between the high and low. So it's a red cloak showing you that, hey, there's some selling going on in this area, and there's a selling imbalance. So, but that's all because you came to the midpoint of the pre-market high and low. So you can see right here as well, you have these green cloaks right here on these candles showing that there's buying imbalance. So buying is, even though these are red candles, price is moving down, but these closing prices are closing above the midpoint of these candles. So that was a mouthful, but that's what these the signals indicator represents. And like I showed you before, there's bubbles in this as well. So yep. And you can show the ATR labels. The ATR thing would change. If ATR is above average, this will be yellow. If it's below average, it'll be I believe gray. And you could change the average or whatever averages you want to use. And you can show the bubbles or not show the bubbles. You can use volume average or tick average. You could use whatever range you want to use. You could use ATR range, hollow range, or you could use the bodies, which is the max open and close of the candles. And it's just going to show you the bubbles that are in there. So here's your engulfing candle right here. Here's another engulfing candle right here. Here's your tweezer bottom. TB just represents tweezer bottom. Engulfing, bullish. Well, these green represents bullish engulfing. And you have a bearish engulfing candle right here. You have your tweezer tops right here. It pushed down, but it wasn't able to push all the way down. The other thing you will see are these triangles. These triangles represents where the difference between the close minus close, it's above average, but volume is below average. So it's giving you a warning that, hey, these big candles right here are not substantiated on volume. So it's just a warning sign saying, hey, be careful. This move or this this move right here is not substantiated by volume. So it could be trapping people. But for the most part, it worked out. And you can see right here, it was on, even though you got these triangles right here, you got increasing volume. So I would not pay attention to these candles based off these wedges because the volume is actually increasing. So even though you're getting different indications right here or divergent indications right here, but for the most part, you're getting a lot of volatility in this. Well, volatility because of engulfing bar, and because volume is increasing as well. And here's your bears divergence dot right here. So you got bears divergence right here. This little dot right here, it's showing you that price made a higher high but a lower close on increasing volume. And we can look at the volume right here. So you have 364,543, and then you can look over here where you have 365,211 volume. So you can see that right there, and you got them. Even though you got a little push up right here, so it didn't go anywhere. It just came back down, came back to the mean of the average. And here are those cloaks again, or those buying imbalances again. And you can see what then the stock just moved up from there. And then you had a VSA above one deviation, and you had increase in volume. and a higher close above the previous high. So that's why you got this diamond looking thing, but it's just a wedge and an arrow together. So those are great indications that for a move up, but not always. But a lot of times they indicate the stock is ready to move up. Here's your buying above 2 deviations again, and you got this move sideways. Same situation here. Volume above 2 deviations is a blow off, even though it's a bullish candle right here. It closes above the open. You have a selling imbalance here, and you can see how for the close is below the midpoint of the actual candle. And even though initially it didn't break below below the average, it eventually did from there. Even though you got this wedge right here, this is another indication telling you that, hey, something else is going on. And that's basically what happened. You can see right here, here's selling, here's volume above 2 deviations and on the selling. And you can see right here it's cloaked in green, and you can see it came back to the pre-market high, and you got this push move above. You got these churning right here, or this fight where the close, these small measured moves between closes, but and volume above average, but it wasn't able to push the price down any further, and you got this move back above, and then you got volume above 2 deviations down here. But this is just the closing of the week, or the closing of the stock. But I didn't really mean for this video to be this long, but I wanted to go into how I trade. One, a lot of things I basically use every day when I'm trading. But for the most part, this indicator right here, this price and volume average trend with ATR. Look at the link in the description. It's a free indicator. You can get it. You can color price with it. And just look in the link in the description, and it'll be there. I appreciate you guys taking the time out to listen to what I had to say. I hope everything I said was helpful. Don't take this as any type of financial advice or anything. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing with you some of the things that I've learned and some of the experiences I've experienced. But for the most part, I wish you the best and God bless. And this is the end of the video. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and God bless.